This is section 5.2b, writing percents as fractions. Our directions are to write each percent as a fraction in simplest form. So 16%. We are going to start by putting 16 as our numerator, and 100 goes on the bottom. For all of the percents less than 100, your denominator will always be 100. Now, it says the directions are to write it in simplest form. So by looking at this, I can tell that 16 and 100 are not in simplest form. So I'm going to find the greatest common factor, or the biggest number that divides evenly into both numbers. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 4 because that is the greatest common factor for both. $16 divided by 4 is 4, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. 4 over 25 is in simplest form, so that will be our final answer. Make sure that you're copying all work down in your math notebook, as you will not be able to fit it on your unit handout. Looking at number 5, we have 10%, so I'm going to put my 10 on top of my 100. And again, I have to write this in simplest form. So I'm going to look at the 2, and I can see that 10 is going to divide evenly by both numbers. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 100 divided by 10 is 10. 1/10 is our final answer. Now, moving down to number 6, we have 1%. So I'm going to write the 1 as my numerator and 100 on the bottom. Looking at this, I can tell that 1, the only thing it can be divided by is 1. So 1 over 100 is in fact simplest form. Looking at number 9, I have 43 on top and 100 on the bottom. And again, because there is no greatest common factor between the two other than 1, 43 over 100 is going to be my answer in simplest form. Go ahead and pause the video. Make sure that you have all work shown on your math notebook, please. Moving on. The United States uses 24% of the world's supply of energy. What fraction of the world's energy is this? So we're going to start out by, again, 24% over 100. I have to find the GCF or greatest common factor. So I am going to divide, looking at this, the greatest common factor is probably going to be 4. So let's go ahead and try that. Go ahead and divide the top and the bottom by 4. And it gives me 24 divided by 4 is 6 for the top, and 100 divided by 4 is 25 on the bottom. 6 over 25, in fact, is in simplest form, so we are going to leave it at that. Question number 5. In a recent NBA season, Shaquille O'Neal of the Miami Heat made 60% of his basketball shots. What fraction of his basketball shots did Shaquille make? So the same as the other, we're going to put 60 on the top and 100 on the bottom. Now, as your numbers get a little bit bigger, you may have to divide by smaller numbers until you get all the way into simplest form. But looking at this, I can tell that I know 10 goes into both, but I also know that 20 goes into both. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 20. 60 divided by 20, or we can cancel our zeros and make it 6 divided by 2, which is 3 on the top. I'm going to cancel my zero, only one zero on the 100 here, and I have 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So Shaquille O'Neal made 3/5 of his shots last season. Laren missed 12% of the questions on her math test. What fraction of the questions did she miss? So again, we have 12 over 100, and we need to put it in simplest form, dividing the top and the bottom number by the greatest common factor, which is going to be 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 100 divided by 4 is 25. Okay. Now, this is the you do section, so go ahead and give these questions a try, and we will go over them during the next class meeting. 1, 2, and 3, you are both going to, you're going to write all of them as a fraction in simplest form.